Differences in learning styles. So, what are learning styles and how do they affect second language acquisition? The term learning styles was actually coined in 1954 by Thales, and it was used to explain the different ways of learning that were preferred by the learners depending upon the different personality types. So, although there are different types of terms also, which somehow explain the same thing, but what we see in learning styles research is that often it is a mixture of cognitive and personality type that interact with each other, and this interaction is often studied in learning styles. So, alternate terms that have been used to study a similar phenomenon have been cognitive style, personality type, sensory preference. Do they like to read and learn? Do they like to hear? Do they like to, what type of modality do they like? What type of modes? Modes would mean what types of means to learn. What are the instruments of learning that they would prefer? For instance, textbooks, pictures to talk about the things that you put in your classroom on your charts, the different types of writings of the children you want to display over there. These are all modes. These are all means of teaching whatever you are, whatever the subject is. So, if we come to cognitive style, remember when we talk about cognitive style, we are then focusing only on the processes that are going on in the mind of the learner. So, we are thinking about how do individual learners use different modes to process information in their mind. So it is about the preferred forms of brain activity that they indulge in when they are learning a language, and how do they make associations, and what are the different types of associations that are triggered in the mind of the learner. If we say that we are looking at learning styles in terms of personality variables, remember we talked about the internal factors, and within this internal factors we talked about this introvert personality. Introvert personality is when you are not so outgoing, when the learners are little shy. So if somebody is already shy, it becomes very difficult for the learner to actually use a new language, a new structure in which he or she is not confident. So it becomes even more difficult. So personality variables can be a part of it, and they can affect your learning style. If we want to look at personality styles and we are talking about introvert personality, opposed to introvert personality is the extrovert personality, in which the learners actually like to engage with other people, and such gregarious learners who are very confident would of course find it very easy to learn the second language. Learning style research has actually combined the cognitive factors and personality trait differences and similarities to determine the ability of the learner in learning the second language, and somehow this research tries to predict performance. They try to highlight the criteria that and somehow create a kind of a profile a learner profile that would affect the language learning. And by knowing what types of learners or what learning styles can help your learners, you can help the learners themselves to develop those learning styles and improve classroom participation and classroom teaching.